Disclaimer. We do not own or claim ownership of the Pokemon franchise and any Pokemon established in official canon. That's all owned by Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures. This is just a podcast made by four friends who love Pokemon. It's our love letter to a franchise most of us grew up with, so please go support the official release. Previously on PKMN Legacy. We'll have you all ready to go, is what I'd be saying if our gym leader was actually here.
We split up?
I guess I'll go to the pop shop.
I'm Wendy, the gym leader of Brayburg Town. You found me.
Something seems to be on your mind.
Do you know what it's like being the first gym leader most people see? I always have to hold back.
Is there any rules stating that you have to battle trainers as a normal gym leader?
You and me, one-on-one, let's go. And out comes Mawile.
Ginger, attack once more with a Fire Fang.
She stumbles back and crashes into Wendy, the burn damage taking its final toll. I'm gonna go right back to my gym duties.
I have two friends who would like to participate in a group battle with you.
Sure. It's late afternoon when you all reach the gym again. As you walk in through the doors of that very, very nauseously pink and nauseously sweet smelling factory, you see Guy the gym guide at his desk. And as you walk in, you hear the muffled sounds of clanking and banging and whirring coming from deeper within. Champs in the making. I guess you found Wendy then, huh?
We're back, and we're ready to go.
Okay, good to hear. So it's still the three of you together this challenge, right?
Oui.
No one's chickening out or anything?
No.
I guess not.
All right. Man, whatever you said to Wendy, you gotta let me in on the secret. I mean, she's come back a whole different trainer. I mean, she just came in, got straight to work revamping the place. Never seen her so motivated before.
Nice going, Chris.
Velma kind of side-eyes Chris for a little bit.
I swear, I actually just went there to talk.
So before we send you in there, how about we go over the rules?
Sure.
Yes, please.
All right, so this is going to be a double battle format. Name of the game, wipe her team out before she wipes you out. How many Pokemon will your team be using?
Is there a limit?
You can use up to 6 Pokemon collectively as a team.
I mean, we have 5 total, so might as well do 5.
Yeah, that seems like the best option.
In that case, Wendy will be using 4 Pokemon against your 5. Items are permitted, but if you use an item, that means Wendy's allowed to use an item as well. So keep that in mind. Any questions?
Oh, I actually did have one question.
All right, go ahead.
So let's say that while during the battle that one of our Pokemon faints, but let's say I, as the trainer, have no other Pokemon to use. Does that disqualify all of us from the gym itself, or can the other 2 continue battling if they have more?
Well, for team gym challenges, the 3 of you technically count as one trainer. So as long as one of you and your Pokemon are still left standing, you're all still in it to win it.
Ah.
That makes sense?
Yes, thank you. That's actually pretty well thought out.
Oh, I do have a question, actually. Do we make the decisions together when we do the battle, or is it we take turns within the turns?
Well, you'd be ordering your own Pokemon, unless the 3 of you decide otherwise. And when your turn comes around, you'd give your command. You know, if this was some sort of turn-based game, that is. Which it isn't. And he turns around and looks straight into the camera.
I don't know what you're talking about. Just roll with it.
You hear the clanking from behind the doors suddenly stop. Well, sounds like she's ready to take on your challenge.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Break a leg.
He doesn't mean it literally.
First things first, who's going to be the first 2 Pokemon you send out?
I will say that Chris will stay probably as the last line of defense, just because he's, again, not all for battling, but he will if he needs to.
What type is this gym, do we know?
Is Chris allowed to tell them what type of gym is, or could he leave it as a surprise?
Hey, it's just the three of you walking down this corridor towards the stairs, so yeah, go ahead if you want to.
Why would you leave it as a surprise?
I mean, to be honest, I actually do not remember what Chris fought, because it's been so long.
Yeah.
Like 2 months to be exact.
Oh my god, has it really been 2 months?
It doesn't feel like it has been.
Well, I think the last time we recorded was back in September, I want to say.
No way!
I thought it was in October.
It's because I
Yeah.
had my show.
Okay, well now the curtain's lifted and Future Me's gonna have to put a mini pause menu bit here, so hold on. Okay, right. So, we record these sessions about a half a year in advance from when you usually see it because our schedules almost never work up together. The soda shop fight was the end of one session, and the team meeting back up was the start of the session after. There were about 2 months in between the sessions, long enough for Dry to forget what he fought, and long enough for me to revamp the entire combat system. You're not going to really see a difference because I edit most of the boring bits out, but for us, choosing and executing moves is twice as fast now. There's also the same type of attack bonuses like in the game, and special effects of moves are based on probability, not damage shifts. Alright, back to the actual podcast outside of this mini pause menu here. Unpause. Jeez. Okay, well, you fought a Mawile.
Oh, a Mawile. So technically it's a... Mawile's not a fairy type, is it?
Normal, isn't it? Normal and ground?
Normal and ground. That sounds about right for a Mawile.
Okay.
I'll tell you right now. Fairy and steel? Well, that's new. Cool. That's... The fairies, obviously. I haven't played with the new games with fairy.
Well, I guess it makes sense. Candy Factory, Fairy and Steel.
Yeah. Great.
Well, if that's the case, I know that steel is weak against fire.
Do you think that maybe, like, we push Chris to start even though he's like, I don't want to, but we're like, but you have, like, the best type. I mean, I have my, Lucille.
Okay, go ahead and play it out then.
Okay. So I would assume as we're walking down the corridor, Chris kind of like stops him and says, hey, just to give you guys a heads up, this gym leader likes to use fairy types. Technically fairy is a steel type. So, just thought I'd give you that little information.
Oh. Well, what can we use to be the strongest?
Well, in my day, I know that steel is weak against fire, and technically speaking, I think poison is weak against fairies as well. So I'd say any fire types that we have would be good.
And Maddie just, like, grins widely at him.
So yeah, you know, the new recent Pokemon you have seems to be a good
But she's just
fire.
she's so new. I think that we should use Ginger.
That's Ginger's not really made for fighting. She's more of a service dog.
I have seen her in action. We know that she's wonderful. She can do it.
I mean, I don't usually object to battling unless it's necessary, and it's kind of been necessary in the last times we've used her. But like, come on, dude.
Chris, you gotta do this, man. You gotta do it for the team.
Chris is like rubbing his temples of his head, and he's like, "All right, let's just make sure to go to the Pokemon Center when this is over."
Okay.
Velma just pats the back of Chris in a kind of buddy way, and she's like, it's gonna be okay, dude. They're gonna be just fine.
Huh? Thank you.
Now let's get going. And she kind of hard pats him in the back and kind of gives him a little push.
Yeah, let's go.
The three of you make your way to the end of the corridor. You go up a flight of stairs and you come out onto this catwalk 25 feet up in the air. And you're overlooking this large section of the factory floor. And now that you're in the heart of the operation, that sweet smell from before is hitting you at full force.
I think my nose got diabetes.
Now in this section of the factory, you see this long conveyor belt cutting through the middle of the room, and it's running parallel to your catwalk. And at each end of the conveyor belt, it kind of runs inside these metal container chute contraption thingies. Even for the gearheads among you, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what these things are. But you can tell that both these contraptions and the conveyor belt, they're all inactive. On the other side of the room, on her own catwalk, you see Wendy. Her leather jacket and purple striped shirt are now covered in layers of dirt and grime. And you can tell there's a bunch of like wrenches and drills and power tools on her belt.
Hello?
And you see her turn to you, and she says, "Hey, so I guess, like, you're Chris's friends then?"
That we are.
That's us.
Neat. So, do you have names, or do I, like, have to guess them?
You want to guess?
The name is Velma.
Je suis Maddie.
Like, don't take this the wrong way, but you don't look nearly as tough as Chris was when we were battling. You guys sure you're, like, up to this?
Velma does the little anime push on her goggles. I think you'll find that we are more than competent.
Well then, it's a good thing I went and, like, upgraded the battlefield for you guys.
Ooh, upgrade.
An upgrade?
You'll see. So, like, let's make this all official and stuff. As the gym leader of Brayburg Town, I, Wendy, accept this opportunity to, like, totally kick your butts.
You're on.
Which two Pokemon do you send out first? The Pokemon she sends out are already set, so...
All right, Chris is throwing out Ginger, unfortunately.
Did we say poison was good too?
Poison is good against fairy types.
All right. Minion, you're up.
And now as you see you can see the battlefield, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. For those listening at home, it's a really long conveyor belt, so I divided it into 3 sections, which on our Roll20 map is marked by zones, left, center, and right. So, pick a zone to put them in. The zones are marked by those red and white boxes.
Okay. I guess I'll just put Ginger here.
And I guess right here.
Okay, you send out Ginger on the far left side of the conveyor belt, and you send Minion out on the smack dab center of it. You see Wendy reach into her leather jacket and pull out 2 Pokeballs and throws them onto the far right side of the conveyor belt. Out pops the Mawile that you, Chris, are already familiar with battling.
Very.
And right next to it pops out a little blue Meryl.
Chris just turns his face towards his teammates and is like, I'm gonna be completely honest. I did not see that coming.
Roll for initiative.
Can Chris, wait, before rolling initiative, can Chris say something to Wendy? Just kind of yell it at her?
Okay.
When did you have a Meryl? I thought you had 1 Pokemon.
What? What kind of moron has, just 1 Pokemon?
Me!
Oh, I'm gonna have, so much fun with you.
Do you want me to roll as well or no because I'm not using my Pokemon?
Not yet. Only the 2 Pokemon are out on the field.
Okay.
It's a double battle format, so when one of them goes down, you can bring out one of yours.
And then what would I would have them roll. Okay, cool, I see.
Okay. The initiative is set. So first in the order is Ginger.
Yay. Quick question.
Yeah.
Explain to me what Leer and Odor Sleuth would do.
Leer lowers the defense of all valid enemy targets. Odor Sleuth helps Ginger hit evasive enemies, and also helps with hitting ghost types with normal and fighting type moves, and helps see through illusions, though the first out of those 3 effects are probably what applies most in this situation.
Okay. So Chris just looks at Ginger, he's like, Ginger, use Leer! And Ginger just kind of glares at both of Wendy's Pokemon.
Both Pokemon are affected by Ginger's fiery gaze, but it especially affects the Mawile, who knows firsthand that Ginger is not all bark, and their physical defenses have dropped. Next in the order we have Minion. Oh, I should probably also mention, you can move between these zones during your turn. Think of it as you have 2 actions, a move action and an attack action.
So if you did an attack, it would only be at 1. You can do a move and an attack, but the attack would only be on 1 Pokemon.
Depends on the attack.
Like Poison Sting?
Like the attacks you have currently, I think they're all single target attacks.
Gotcha. Okay. Minion moves to this side of the field
Okay, the far right side of the field where the enemy Pokemon are. Okay.
and shoots Poison Sting at... What's the name of the thing again? Not Mawile.
Mawile and Meryl.
No, it is Mawile. Mawile. Okay.
53?
What?
For the defending role, yes. So, Minion shoots out a flurry of poison needles straight at the Mawile, and they, tink, 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 just bounce off harmlessly off the steel exterior of the Mawile. Wendy gives you a sort of bemused look, and you hear her shout, "Hey, what's the matter? You do know, like, steel types are immune to poison type attacks, right?"
God!
I knew that! And that's what I knew was all false sense of security!
Like, sure you are. Meanwhile, it is Meryl's turn. The Meryl looks at Wendy for an order. Wendy doesn't say anything, but she does give a little signal. She balls up her fist and slides it across her palm repeatedly. And then those Meryl's beady eyes turn towards Ginger with laser-like focus.
Oh.
She takes a slow step forward, tumbles, and then she starts rolling at breakneck speeds right towards Ginger with the rollout.
Oh no, my baby.
Alright, so Meryl hits Ginger with the full force of a 5-shift hit. She slams right into her side, and she knocks the Houndoom back into a couple trays of candy that were sitting on the conveyor belt.
And Maddie just pats Chris on the back, like it's gonna be okay.
Last in the order is the Mawile. Oh, like you ain't seen nothing yet. Mawile? And the Mawile turns to her, and Wendy does a sort of like a rock and roll symbol with her hands. The Mawile, and I'm talking both its actual face and its jaw head horn, they both give this vicious grin. They turn to you, and in this cacophonous harmony, they both let out this hard metal shriek. And as soon as the ringing in your ears stops, you notice that both the Meryl and the Mawile look even stronger than before. And you can hear Wendy say, "Yeah, that's like our signature move right there, Power Chord. It like boosts the attack and the special attack of all my Pokemon on the field."
Oh.
Top of the order is Ginger.
He turns to Velma, he looks at her and he says, "Velma, I need you to do me a favor.
Yeah?
Your Dustox minion is a bug type, correct?
Yes?
You have a great type advantage against water types.
Alright, I see what you're getting at.
Okay,
Ginger, focus on the Mawile," and she like looks over to where the Mawile's position is. Use Fire Fang, and she starts snarling and like smoke coming out of her mouth.
roll for it, and don't forget to make the modifier, it's +2 thanks to that defense drop from the Leer.
Okay. Oh.
The Houndoom's fangs manage to really scrape it as it rolls by. Even with the water type resistance, that is a 5-shift hit.
Ginger wants revenge again.
Alright, next in the order is Minion.
Alright. Velma, still a little shaken from doing her little blunder. She just kind of shakes her head, jumps up and down. Okay, got this. Minion, use Poison Sting!
On who?
The Meryl.
So, the Dustox's poison needles pierce the Meryl for a 3-shift hit. Its rollout falters a bit, kind of swerving from side to side, as the poison begins to take hold from that super effective attack. It is now poisoned. Oh wait, no, that's a 5-shift hit because of that Leer defense drop.
That's my minion! That's my minion over there!
Next in the order is the Meryl, who is still stuck in rollout mode. You see the Meryl make a U-turn, knocking over a bunch of trays of candy on the conveyor belt, and comes right back for Ginger again. And... Alright, so with the power chord boost and the rollout boost, that is a 7-shift hit on Ginger. And the blue ball goes right into its rear. That sounded wrong. Hold on.
Re-record that one.
Let's rephrase there, shall we?
The Meryl rolls out smack dab into Ginger's side. That works better. 7-shift hit. Okay, moving on.
Chris just sees the damage done to his precious baby, and he's just like,
Oh, you think that was bad? You're gonna have a little problem with this one there, fella.
"Oh no."
Hey, Mawile! Like, use clamp.
Oh no.
And that's a water type move, my friend.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
The Mawile lunges at Ginger with her giant jaw horn and bites down on her with oceanic force. It's only a 4-shift hit, but as Ginger tries to pull away, the Mawile does not let go of its grip. Her prey is bound.
Oh.
Top of the order is Ginger. Let me just make one check. Okay, I was trying to see if Ginger would free herself on this turn. She does not. You are still bound, but you still can attack. You just can't, like, physically move to a different zone or anything like that.
So, the Mawile is still bound to Ginger, correct?
Yes.
Chris is going to look at Ginger and say, Ginger, use Fire Fang, but bite the Mawile's second mouth.
What a friendly mutual clamping. So, Ginger's fiery fangs sink into Mawile's steel jawhorn. Steam rises from the puncture wounds as Mawile takes 5 shifts of super effective damage and is now flinched. So that's something you can use and just call out whenever you want.
Gotcha.
Next in the order is Minion. Chi-Chi?
Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the music.
Okay.
Anyways, so Mawile, what type is Mawile again?
Steel and Fairy.
Keep in mind, any bug type moves that Minion has, they are super effective against water types.
Alright.
No.
Yeah,
No.
against bug and water are ×2 damage to water types.
Look, I didn't say anything last time you said that because I thought it'd be like a funny bit or something, but that's not a thing.
If I remember correctly in Sword and Shield, then again, hold on, give me a second.
So the thing I'm looking at, it says that bug is effective ×1.
Yeah, it's neutral.
So that, God bless me, hold on, wait.
I mean, grass is super effective against water. Electric is super effective against water, but that's about it.
Oh, yep, you're right, because I see it here. Water is so super effective against fire, ground, and rock, but weak against electric and grass. So yeah, if you have any grass type moves, by all means, destroy it.
I think for now, Minion's gonna keep going at it with the Poison Sting.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Alright.
Oh! Okay, what does that 6-shift hit look like?
Oh my god.
So, Minion soars up. Thumble yells, "Let's do it, Meryl!" I mean, that's so good.
Don't you, like, order my Pokemon, just order yours.
He's done a cracker. Anyways, alright, Minion, let's tell him who's boss. Minion then unleashes a flurry of poison stingers onto Arrow, in which they rain down.
And if it wasn't already poisoned, it's poisoned even more now.
Double poison.
If that was a thing. Alright, so it's Meryl's turn, who is still going for another nasty little rollout because it's still locked in there.
Oh boy.
That's an 8-shift hit, with only 3 HP left. How does it go down?
As Meryl is like rolling out towards Ginger, Ginger sees this coming. She looks over at Chris and just kind of is looking for like a what to do, and Chris is just staring at her and he's just a single tear. It's okay. I will heal you later. You did good. And Ginger just slowly nods, closes her eyes, and just takes the hit. She goes down.
As you recall Ginger back into her ball, you hear Wendy say, "Oh, like, okay then, guess it's just us girls now."
Chris goes over to Maddie, places his hand on her shoulder, and goes, "I did all I could. It's up to you guys now."
As Meryl rolls past what was once Ginger, that sounds dark, it takes a little bit of recoil from that nasty poison damage. Next up is Mawile, who flinches. So, let me take Ginger out of the order. Maddie, who are you sending out?
Let's go get him, Lucio!
And out pops the tiny little imp onto the conveyor belt, right in front of that big nasty Mawile. Top of the order, we have Minion.
So Minion decides to use String Shot on Merle.
A jet of icky, sticky webbing shoots out at the Meryl, whose speed is reduced by 1. Still in the same order, but notably slower. Next up is Lucille.
So, Lucille's gonna use Ember on the Mawile. Heck yeah!
Ooh, that's a hefty 8-shift hit. Wow.
You did.
How's it go down?
Okay, so Lucille kind of like holds out a little. Are they paws or hands?
Hands.
Little nubs, I think.
Great. So Lucille holds out one of her little nubs and like one of those, you know how like in like Avatar: The Last Airbender where the firebenders firebend like the jet stream and it's like a flame torch. It's like that, right?
Yeah.
And she like chucks it at the Mawile and it lands like right in the Mawile's like back mouth. It's like when you throw bombs in like Legend of Zelda into the big plants. It's like that.
Oh, yeah, okay. So it closes its mouth on the bomb, and you can see just inside it, its mouth just like boom. As it opens up, it lets out a puff of smoke, and the Mawile goes down.
Woo!
Next in the order is Meryl, who's going to have, I think from that string shot, I think it would be knocked out of its whole rollout thing.
Okay.
You gooped it up. So it's going to turn to you now, the dust tox, and let out a jet of bubble beam at it. Woof. The bubbles shoot into the air and hit dust tox, making it flutter around wildly for a bit, but then it regains its position and only suffers a 3-shift hit. And with that, Meryl takes a bit more poison damage. It looks like it's on its last leg.
Uh-huh.
Wendy takes out another Pokeball. Okay, like things are getting kind of interesting now. She takes that Pokeball and throws it onto the middle of the conveyor belt, and out pops a Mime Jr.
Interesting.
Okay, but let's make things a bit, more interesting. She takes out a remote and clicks a button, and suddenly the conveyor belt they're on shudders to life.
No!
Oh
I knew it happened at some point.
And let me roll for the conveyor belt. It moves one scooch to the right.
Oh no!
So,
Can I run?
Lucille is whisked away into the chute for a moment. You hear, as you see a fiery glow from what you are realizing now is a small furnace.
Oh my god.
Lucille pops out, puts out the fire that was on its fur.
Thelma just kind of screams out what the heck?
Lucille is fine, just a bit singed from the fire on its fur. The fur on its fur. Luckily, it's not very effective on fire-type Pokemon,
Right.
so you're safe for now.
Yeah.
Top of the order, it's Minion.
Thelma, brimming with confidence, turns her attention to Minion and says, Alright, Minion, we got this in the bag, let's do it! Let's use Poison Sting on that clown! And so Dustox flies into the air and unleashes another barrage of poison little needles upon the new opponent. And that's happening.
Mime Jr. puts up a hand, and most of those needles clink on some sort of invisible barrier, but some get through and put a little nick in its cap, hitting it for only 2 points of damage this time. Next in the order, Lucille.
Lucille kind of skitters over to the middle of the conveyor belt to get away from the furnace. And we're going to use Ember again on Mime Jr.
Roll it. Ooh, that's a 4-shift hit right there.
Nice.
Want to describe it?
Yeah, so this time it's just like a little tiny flame that, because like Lucille is far, she kind of like tosses it over at the Mime Jr. and almost like a baseball, like tosses it. Like a couple of them.
He sees you lob the fireballs over the little barrier he made, and he's gonna play along with it. He catches the fireballs, and he starts juggling them around in his hands. And it looks like he's having fun with it. Then he realizes his cap's on fire now, and he runs around wildly on the conveyor belt trying to put it out. He is now burned. If clowns could cry. Anywho, it's Meryl's turn. It's not taken too kindly to you hurting its friend. And now it's going to go for a nasty little bubble beam
Oh
against
no,
Lucille.
I should have gotten it. Why did I get that? It's a water type.
Oh, Lord.
That's a nasty 9-shift hit right there.
Oof.
Powered up by that power cord move.
Minion, save me.
That torrent of bubbles hits Lucille like a truck. It actually picks her up off the ground and sends her flying into some trays of sweet tarts that are sweet, not
yes.
sweet tarts.
Specifically the tarts that are sweet.
The W stands for Wendy. And then you see the Meryl keel over on the ground and just pass out. The poison having done the last of its work.
Whew.
The fainted Meryl is recalled back into its Pokeball, and Wendy pockets it back into her studded, bedazzled leather coat. Next to the order is Mime Jr. So the Mime Jr. creates a sudden aura of psychic energy that emanates right at the point between the middle of the conveyor belt and the far right and suddenly it just dissipates. But you can see a sort of a sheen of light, like a reflection on glass. The conveyor belt shudders to life once more and does not move, but it scares you for a moment.
It did.
Wendy leans over the railing of the catwalk and she pulls out another basic Pokeball, but then she pauses and puts it right back into her jacket. You know what? No. Like, this is the most fun I've had for a while. I don't have to, hold any punches with you. You can take it. So it's time for my partner in crime to shine. You see her reach into her poofy ponytail and pull out this Pokeball with all these pink and purple skulls etched over it in Sharpie. Like, let's rock and roll, Krakoon! Before the light from the ball dissipates, the first thing you see pierce through the glow are a set of red and yellow eyes. Then 2 pointy ears. Then a beastly grin, and finally this gigantic, bushy, purple and brown striped tail as it wraps over the shoulders of this tall, lanky raccoon figure. He bears his fangs and claws, ready to wreck some newbie trainers.
Great. Please help me.
Yellow, Kay here, again with the actual pause menu this time, not the mini fake one. I'm going to try to keep this one brief this time around. So, thank you to our patrons for supporting the show, and a special thank you to our Ultra Baller tier patrons, Dongo the King and Donkey Oto. Now, if you are enjoying the show, and if you are able to, and only if you are able to, please consider supporting the show on Patreon. And if you're not able to, but you still want to support the show, retweeting and sharing is more than enough. Now, there will be a quick break before the next episode, then we'll see if we can return to our every 2-week format. It was nice making this episode a little longer since it's a special occasion, first gym battle and all, but it's probably not going to be that sustainable if I did that for every single episode. So we'll probably keep the longer episode lengths to very special occasions, maybe like the other gym battles. But at any rate, expect the next episode to come out sometime late June. And for now, enjoy the rest of the show, stay safe, and unpause. So, top of the order is Minion.
Are we able to pull out Pokedex during battles?
You can.
Velma pulls into her pocket and pulls out her Pokedex.
It whirs to life.
Krakoon, the sly Pokemon, and the evolved form of Slinkit. Having lost its cute edge through maturity, it relies on staying out of sight and stalking its mark from a distance. Unless you share a very close bond with it, do not touch its large bushy tail. It is where it stores its food and valuables.
Do we know the type?
You don't know that.
Cool. I mean, it looks like a fairy type or of some sort. Fairy and something. I'm hoping and praying.
It's probably a normal fairy type.
Yeah.
So, Minion soars up into the air, and with its wings sends a big gust of wind onto the new player.
Good merciful Lord.
That is a 6-shift hit right there. You kind of blow back its fur for a bit, and you see a couple candies pop out of the tail on its back. It looks a bit ticked at that. Now it's Krakoon's turn. You see it hop up into the air and land right in front of the desktops, and you see it take its claw and just swipe right at you with a nasty thief attack. And that is a 7-shift hit right there.
Good merciful.
what the heck?
Oh, Lord.
The Krakoon slashes up and down and all around as if it were trying to cover all its bases with Minion. But after seeing that it has nothing to steal, it leaps back and lands nimbly onto the railing of the conveyor belt, perfectly perched. You can see him as he gives a little snicker like,
I love Sly Cooper.
I do too.
Can I use a potion, please?
You can. That would cost you your turn for that. Or you want to spend Lucille's turn recovering?
I don't know. What do y'all think?
Well, here's one thing you also have to remember. If you use items in battle, she can use them as well.
What do y'all think? Should I just try and see how long Lucille can stick it out? Because I still have Bellini
What type is Bellini again?
normal.
Well, the Mawile is already down, so...
Quick question. In battle, are we or are we not allowed to use the environment to our advantage?
Absolutely, yes. If you want to use the environment, go for it. But if it does mean bending the rules a bit, or if what you're trying to do is especially difficult, it may require a good roll or a fate point, or it depends on what you guys have in mind.
Okay.
I also have a question.
Yes.
Can I just move my Lucille over to here?
Oh, you want to jump down off the conveyor belt?
Can I?
Might take a bit of fall damage from that high up.
No! So we're gonna throw this Ember back over at Mime Jr.
Yeah, go ahead and roll for Ember. Okay, so Lucille spits out a bit of fire into its hands and then shuffles it around like a hot potato and sort of Kobe's over the fireball over onto its side, and it lands right in its face. And that's a 4-shift hit right there.
Not good enough.
Meanwhile, Mime Jr. is not taking kindly to that. It is going to run right at you, and then remember, there's a barrier there, and smack face first into that barrier. As it rubs its sore little mime nose and recovers, you hear Wendy shout down to it, forget the pirate, go for the bug! And seeing the dust hawks flying overhead, it decides to attack it with confusion.
Oof.
That is a 10-shift hit, and you only had 3. The dust tox is enveloped in a blinding flash of psychic energy, and then it starts spiraling down towards the catwalk and lands at Velma's feet, out cold.
Velma looks distraught at her minion, reaching for it, and grabs her hand into a fist, and does a dramatic looking down pose. Do not worry, my fallen minion. I shall avenge you. You shall not have been defeated in vain.
We have a Pokemon Center, Velma.
You look, and you can see the Mime Jr. making the exact same movements, even down to the clenched fist and dramatic look down.
That's adorable.
Excellent.
And also, and as it does it, it just remembers, oh yeah, its hat is on fire, and takes a bit of damage from that. Before you have a chance to send out a replacement Pokemon, you hear a shudder and a whirring as... The Cocoon is knocked off his perch from the shaking of the conveyor belt whirring to life. Both it and Lucille are carried closer to the furnace, but are blocked by the Mime Jr.'s barrier. And Mime Jr. looks at the barrier, realizes it's made a terrible mistake. It mimes taking out and playing an imaginary violin as it is slowly whisked away into the furnace.
Oh no!
And it comes out even more on fire than before, but still hanging on for its dear clown life.
Oh no.
Who are you going to send out to replace your fallen comrade? We have Slinkit and we have Bellini.
That's up to you, Chi-Chi. I'll leave it up to you.
Velma gathers back her strength, reaches into her pocket, and throws out the Pokeball containing Goonie. Avenge your brethren! And out pops Goonie. Onto this area. In front of the barrier.
Okay. I think as Slinkit pops out, it sees its evolved form on the other side of the barrier, and it puts a hand or a paw up and waves hello. You see Cocoon sneer at it for a moment, and that gets Slinkit into the fighting spirit. Top of the order, Cocoon. It bounces back a bit, then lets out a rabid screech. It is going to use Disarming Voice on the small little fire imp.
No.
And hits Slinkit as well.
Oh no.
That's
Hell yeah.
only a minor 1-shift hit for Lucille. Thank goodness for all that fluff blocking most of that sound out.
Hold on for dear life.
But for Goonie, it's a bit more than that. It's a 3-shift hit. Next in the order is Lucille.
Okay, we are gonna
Oh, can I just like to add one thing to that.
go for it.
You see Lucille get back up, fuming. It kind of ignites its own body. Blaze is now in effect.
So we're just gonna keep shooting out that ember. We're gonna keep shooting out that ember because now that that's doubled, we're gonna go and just do that. So let's do that. And I shot ember at Cocoon.
Okay, so that's a 10 shift hit right there.
Yeah, well now that Lucille's blazing, it's just straight up a football tackle. So she just like is on fire, just runs at the Cocoon.
Its entire face is engulfed in flames, and the Cocoon uses its tail to put out the fires, but not so effectively as it still is singeing and smoking from that intense heat. And that target is burned.
We're almost there, guys.
Next in the order is Goonie.
Goonie is gonna be using Scratch on Mime Jr.
Roll it. All right. How does the clown go down?
Velma and Goonie do a little synchronized dance in their evil villainous fashion. Avenge your brother! Goonie jumps up in the air, does a little pose, and comes down with their claw scratching the Mime Jr.
The Mime Jr. takes the blow full force. You see it do a little pirouette and then collapse. Wendy recalls it back into its Pokeball, and the barrier fades away. Before you can rejoice, you hear one more ka-chunk, and the conveyor belt shudders, but does not move. All right, top of the order, Cocoon. You see Cocoon look at the Slinkit and look at the Pyramp. It jumps back and lets out another disarming voice at both of you. 4 shift hit for Slinkit as it tumbles a bit from the impact of that sound wave. And how does Lucille go down?
Yeah, I had a feeling. Definitely just like covering its trying to use its big ears to like cover, but it just kind of goes on its knees and faints.
And down it goes as it is recalled back into its ball.
Boy.
Next in the order is Goonie.
Seeing Lucille fall, a passion stirs within their heart. And in their passion, unleashes a disarming voice.
Of its own. Paint me a word picture of how it takes down the Cocoon.
Its fist shaking. It looks up, a glare in its eye. Goonie's head reels back. And on Velma's command, use disarming voice! It shouts out a loud cry that all can hear, sending waves at the Cocoon, pounding it with sound.
With such a loud, high-pitched screech, you see some of the windows in this factory floor crack a bit. Cocoon tries to cover its ears, but it just can't take the pain. It is knocked back by the impact of that auditory assault right into the furnace.
Oh, I knew it.
The conveyor belt scoots back a bit, and out comes the unconscious body of that poor, well-cooked Cocoon.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we won, guys.
Goonie for the clutch!
Wendy whips out the remote again and presses a button. The metal walkways shoot out of your respectable catwalks and meet on the now powered down conveyor belt. She recalls Cocoon into the ball and walks towards you. Now, that was like exactly what I needed. I mean, it would have been nice to, win for once, but at least I can say you earned it. So, yeah, here you go. The Sweet Tooth badge.
Woo!
And she hands you this small metal pin in the shape of a tooth with pink, vibrant stripes down the middle. It reminds you of a candy cane.
What a creative looking badge.
Nice.
What?
Oh, and also here, this is a personal gift from me. Think of it as a sorry for being, such a, jerk, making you do all my chores.
Aw.
and she hands you a TM containing the move Power Chord.
Nice.
What that does is you can use that every other turn, and the attack and special attack stats of your Pokemon and its allies on the field are increased by 1 stage.
Nice.
Chris looks over to both Velma and Maddie and goes, I'm very proud of both of you. You did a really good job.
Oh, so did you.
Ah, well,
And Maddie just like runs and gives him a little hug.
Velma looks over at Goonie, who's a little wobbly after the fight, and gives him a big hug. That's my minion! You're my minion! You're my Goonie! Ah, I love you! I love you! I love you! And then she kind of pauses for a minute and kind of looks around and she's like, that's very good, Goonie. You did a very good job. And then returns it to his Pokeball. Yeah. Good job, everybody. Y'all did very well.
adorable.
So, like, if you head out the way you came, Guy will give you your prize money. I'd like walk you out, but And one of the cracked windows finally gives up the ghost and crumbles into a bunch of pieces. Yeah, so like, I got some work to do.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry. Like I said, I wanted to fight, and I got one. Plus, the league has us insured.
Is that glass made of sugar glass or just regular glass? Because this factory has been throwing me through a loop since I got inside here.
Like, trade secret.
Ah,
So we cut to a few moments later, you're back out at the front desk, and Guy doles out the prize money between the three of you. Hey, champs in the making! Your first gym badge. How's it feel?
It was so fun.
It was pretty good, I guess.
I need to go to a Pokemon Center.
Oh, hey, before you go, you know which town you're heading to next? Actually, hold on, let me just get out a map real quick. So you're right here in Braybrook Town. Now, if you go south, it's a day's walk through the swamps and into Winnisap City. Jiving seaside port, best gumbo in the world. And if you go north, it's about a day and a half's walk through the woods over to Russet Town. A pretty quiet place if you ask me, but the professor's lab is there. Oh, and both towns have gyms. In fact, I think the only towns that don't have gyms are, let's see, over here in Port Gala and over here in Mogul City. Other than those two, you're pretty much good wherever you go.
I think we should go north because then we can go everywhere else after that.
I think that sounds like a solid plan.
That's fine with me.
All right. Well, I guess I'll get packing and I'll meet you guys over there.
Okay.
Wait, you follow us there?
Well, I wouldn't say follow. I'll probably beat you guys there. Or maybe it's just one of my many identical cousins.
Please don't do this to me.
You'll
never know.
It's like Nurse Joy.
Trade secret.
Okay. We will hopefully see you there.
Exactly. And you guys leave the gym. It is very, very late in the evening. The sun about to set, and it's time for you guys to find another place to sleep for the night.
Wait, are we not able to go back to the Pokemon Center to sleep, or?
You can.
Oh,
Let's do that because we have to heal.
Yeah, we gotta heal our guys.
all right. Can we go to the Pokemon Center, please?
I agree.
Ditto.
So, you wait for your Pokemon to be healed. Doot, 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 doot. And you take the rest of the night off after a well-fought battle. You have your dinner, you relax, you get ready for bed, and eventually the three of you drift off to well-deserved sleep. And then a loud, distant boom wakes you up.